Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest all of War Soulstorm cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Fatamorga. But on the other side, as the Sisters of Battle, we have got Nameless. On the other side, as the Dark Eldar, we have got Catface. Catface will be opening up with a couple of Magic squads and a Hall of Blood, whereas Nameless is going to go for a couple of missionaries, a Pristine Sanctuary, and a Adeptus Sororitas Convent. So dare I say, this is probably the most rarest form of matchup in Soulstorm. Sisters and Dark Eldar both suffer from being the least played factions in the OG vanilla game. That's quite exciting, a little bit of a rarity for the channel. And yeah, you might be thinking, Mr. Landshark, well, I mean, Dark Eldar, they normally go for Dark Foundry and go into Hellions and jet bikes. So why for are they opening up a Hall of Blood against the Sisters of Battle? Well, sit down, young man and a woman, let me tell you for why. So we are going to see a couple of Surfing squads coming out for Nameless here. And these ladies, as we've seen on the channel a bajillion million times, fast and nimble, really good in a close firefight, and when you chase after them, they're able to fire backwards with relatively good accuracy. So you've got your Hellions out. Hellions like to smash things in close combat, so they will lose a ranged fight. And by the time you get your jet bikes out, actually, the Surfings will be out and about, causing mischief with your mandrakes and killing your tortured slaves. Whereas your warriors from the Hall of Blood do a massive amount of damage in the range department, and although they are quite fragile, so are the Surfings. So in a straight up fist fight, or should I say a firefight, the warriors will actually take it. And if the Surfings decide, right, okay, well, we'll avoid you and start to, do some base bashing, well, the warriors can do a lot more base bashing. And they're also quite quick as well, so they can keep on top of the Surfings relatively well. But that won't stop them from getting a decap in. Always got to get that harassment in as and where you can. Mandrakes have got absolutely no chance of killing a Surfing unless, of course, they fancy getting involved into some close combat themselves, which is unlikely. These guys are just going to try and ignore them as best they can. 2 more have gone down. Second squad of Surfings are on the way. Here come the warriors. And watch the health drop remarkably quickly. For a second. Oh, it's 2 squads. It's not 1 squad, it's 2 squads. So there we are, sir. The fact that he's gone for 2 means that it's going to be even harder for the Surfings to focus fire and get a squad wipe, as one could just fall back. So the ladies will run away, but they have delayed the relic and the strategic point. So they've done the economic damage, and they'll probably want to fall back a little bit, maybe play a bit more defensive, see if we can upgrade one of these listening person, fight around it potentially, or just go in for seconds. Why not? Do quite like how Catface is using every soul possible. Is able to break the morale of the system, which I do believe is done that morale breaking ability. Can also have that piercing vision, which allows him to see infiltrated stuff with one of his units. Although I don't think the Sisters have any tier 1 or in fact tier 2 infiltrated units. It's the cult assassin thingy-doodad lady, which you don't really see in the game, to be fair. You don't really see them at all. Kind of like the Vindicare assassin for the Imperial Guard. You only really see them if you've got extra dosh to play with. You'll see a third squad of warriors and some terror grenades as well, or whatever you call those grenades, which do not do the Sisters any favours whatsoever in the sight department. So fly away, maybe trying to delay the relic even more. They'll at least delay the listing post by potentially almost killing the torch slave. They've definitely got to focus on the mandrakes, but not quite getting a squad wipe there. You have to fall back, otherwise they'll lose a significant amount of their ladies from that engagement. Torch slave attempting to retreat again, but he is taken out, sir. Not the usual free reign that the Surfings are familiar with, but they are used by Nameless quite efficiently, all things considered. We have seen Nameless on the channel several times now. He may be nameless, but he's not faceless to the peepers who watch the videos on the YouTubes. Poor sister goes down. And that's the thing as well, like, you can try and use their running away, firing backwards technique. But that's finally... Warriors aren't going to be chasing after you. Sisters now going to try and jump over and see if they can do some argy-bargy potential on this side, or maybe just deny these relics, as there is a missionary trying to do some stuff. These guys are a bit shafted, as they will not be able to retreat from all this incoming damage. So that is one capping squad done. But while they're doing that, well, the Warriors have got free reign over the environment, attempting to get a battle sister squad out. But that's then three Warriors versus 1 sister squad. If the Dark Warriors want to take them down, they most certainly can. But just look at how much damage that they could do. Surfings as well, just, yeah, like I mentioned earlier on, do not do much in the way of building damage at all. So that's a problem for them. Sister's been chased away. Going to build up another, well, a replacement pristine sanctuary. If you're not familiar why they do that, if you destroy one of your buildings, you do regain some of your money. So that's why they do it. They build that up, build your seraphims, and then delete it. And now they're actually going to take down the Adept Sorcerer's Convent. Tempted to go for some phosphor grenades, which do amazing damage against the lightly armoured warrior squads. But will it be enough? Another grenade thrown on top of the seraphims, reducing their overall range damage. Now, question, is it the accuracy, or is it just the range damage, like the raw DPS number? I have a sneaking suspicion it's the accuracy, but please do let us know. One warrior squad about to get squad wiped, but Sister's not quite committing to the bit. And then two more squads come over just to help out. Sister will manage to take one out there, but another grenade being thrown in, and just narrowly surviving that squad wipe there. Beautiful stuff from Catface. Battle Sisters attempting to get involved in close combat just to reduce that deadly onslaught. Also got the Sour Bite, and does the Sour Bite have his mega weapon? No, not at the moment. But if he, in fact, are you researching that at the moment? No, you have deleted your homunculus laboratory. Oh, I see. Right, so you got the upgrade for the warrior Sour Bites. You've recruited them, and then, much like the Sisters, you then delete it. Interesting. Not the standard thing, but you know what? We'll take it. I mean, it's working so far, so why not? So, warriors, this is too many for too little Sisters to worry about. So, got no choice but to, I'm going to do something else. Found a different hobby. Let's see, post about to go down, and yeah, what a shame. 2 plasma generators and also a pristine sanctuary about to fall down. A major pain for everyone who is not a Dark Eldar. Going to go for a slave chamber for potentially more lads. Current economies are 80 and 0 compared to 80 and 10, so the Dark Eldar really not fancying going into tier 2 anytime soon. They're throwing all their eggs in one basket, as the Dark Eldar do tend to like in a lot of matchups. If they can force their opponent to stay in tier 1, then they may as well stay in tier 1 as well, because generally their tier 1 is pretty impressive in comparison to other factions, especially against Sisters. Sisters really like being in tier 2, that's their favourite tier to be in, probably. They get their Lightning Strike Fighters, they get their Penitent Engines, Exorcist artillery stuff, Celestians, all that stuff. But some Phosphor Grenades, 2 Battle Sister squads, and a couple of well-placed grenades also. Wonderful choice of going for the Flamers as that Pristine Sanctuary was still alive. Any morale damage that they could do will negate the numerical advantage, but going in a little bit too far forward. Here come the Seraphims on the left-hand side. Will fly straight on in the middle. Fire breaking down. The Warriors very, look at that. No questions asked. You set an Eldar on fire, and they just don't vibe with it. Now the Chain Swords are being brought out by the Battle Sisters, and the Dark Eldar massively overstaying their welcome. Their confidence being shattered by the angriest of ladies. Are going to reposition themselves. Thankfully, the broken morale also allows them to reposition a lot quicker. One squad being left behind will attempt to turn around and do some damage, but Sisters now have the momentum. Slipping and sliding up and down the blades of each other. Both factions, wonderful combat animations. Suppose that's part of them being made in the later stages of the Soulstorm history, family, whatever you want. Series is the word. Families are for humans and alive things. Series are for the non-things. The Seraphims now able to keep on top of the Warriors. They've got no chance of showing these ladies the door. Did see that they were going to build an Archon earlier on, but they've decided not to go for it. Tower of Loathings have got the upgrades there, so maybe fighting underneath them might be the idea. Finally got the numbers. But that being said, cannot underestimate the Warriors' ability to do some damage. Already a couple of models going down for them. Now bringing them to a false sense of security. There goes the morale breaking global ability. The Sisters still have quite a fair bit left over. Got to make sure that you pop that ability while also doing a lot of stuff to them. Definitely not feeling it. More phosphor grenades. Beautiful stuff. Another squad wipe. And what seemed like a really strong opening for the Dark Eldar is now nil poir for them. Looks like they're trying to save it for tier 2. Instead, they are going for the Tower of Dominance's upgrades to give them a little bit of firing power and potential. Sisters do not have the ability to really contend with any kind of building fighting at the moment, especially when the Dark Eldar can just counterattack them. So, a wise choice, I think. I think maybe some people will think that you should press your advantage, but no, that they've just survived quite a serious engagement. They've got to rebuild as well, so as that's taken into consideration. Tier 2 not yet to begin for the Sisters of Battle. A missionary soon to join the ranks of the Battle Sisters 8. Healing Hands will do them massive favours. Have you got any faith at the moment? You have got a little bit of faith. So that's good. Tier 2 on the way for the Dark Eldar. Seraphins coming in, seeing what they can see. Umming and ahhing as to what the Dark Eldar will be up to. And I imagine Dark Eldar will want to transition into Witches. Unless they want to rebuild the rebuild the Homunculus Laboratory and the Dark Foundry for Raiders and Jet Bikes. But no, to be fair, up against Sisters, it's always risky going for vehicles, as generally they will start transitioning away from Battle Sisters towards Celestians. Quite expensive, but they do a lot of damage in close combat and at range with their regular bolters. You can always swap them out for anti-vehicle stuff as well, so a very flexible way of going about things. So yeah, probably Witches. Here comes an Archon. Ready to give them the old pimp slap. Manages to stun them, but stuns them in mid-jump, so that will not stop them from going any further forward. Get out of there in the nick of time. That would have been one squad wipe, potentially, if they stayed around for any length of time due to that stun. Incubus is on the way. I've got a countdown for Nameless. So actually the Sisters are getting it on there. Also got to bear in mind as well that the critical location gives you an extra 6 blue. Not a huge game-changing amount of money. But I mean, if somebody came up to you and said, hey man, would you like 50 pence for free? Would you turn them down? I'll never turn any money down. I'll do disgusting things. Money. Oh dear. Phosphor grenades, narrowly avoiding. Just telling that Archon to get back. None of your mischief today. Scourges. Interesting. Did not expect Scourges. Because, I mean, they jump around, very nimble, but so do Seraphins. And the Seraphins will beat you in close combat. Whereas the Witches can take their combat stimulants and move the warriors around. Okay, alright, we know what? Catface, you're doing well so far, so I'm going to trust you in this. You've got a plan. And I'm not one to discourage an individual of any caliber to follow their dreams. Archon trying to retreat away from the ladies. Thankfully, the Scourges can reposition over the mountain as she comes. My mouse... Why is my mouse not working? I mean, it is working, but it's... Oh, I've got cable in the way. I've got cable in the way. Hold on. Let me just dingle and dangle things. There we go. Well, my cable's mixed up for a second then. Got a Crucible Malediction, which is another stunning kind of thing. Except for that, in addition to keeping them in place, also makes them fight their friends. Which is pretty good. Archon, quite... Well, I mean, definitely one of the stronger Tier 1 commanders in the game, if used correctly. Well, Seraphim's jumping in. And I like how he's only gone for one Dark Lance per Scourge squad. Gives them a little extra nip when it comes to smacking down buildings, but also keeps them anti-infantry capable. I'll go see a Manufactorum. I don't know. I think Celestians would have been the way. If you've seen them go for Scourges, then any vehicles you go for will be at risk. But I suppose the Rhino that they're going to get is to reposition these Sisters. I'll be broken across the board. Seraphins there will get involved. Close combat. Scourges will reposition themselves. Already used one of their jumping juices there, so they are at risk of overextending themselves. Healing Hands upon the Sisters. Going inside the Rhino to hide away from danger and mischief. Those Dark Lance will cause some trouble for the Rhinos. Do have the Angelic Visage that the Seraphins can make use of as well.
4 minutes until taking full victory.
Phosphor grenades on top of the Scourges, but then we'll just leapfrog out the way. Archon smack bang in the middle of everyone. Here come the warriors as well, just to add their splinter rifles to the thing. And there's the Angelic Visage, increasing everyone's overall damage by 50% question mark? 25% question mark? I can't quite remember. Another Confessor was a similar aura. But that's all you're getting from me. Here come the witches. The witch is going to require everyone to get some stitches. Double rhinos there. And unlike the Space Marine Chaos Rhinos, they've got a bolter gun. Not huge amounts of damage, but much like my 50 pence analogy earlier on, if someone said to you, hey, here's a Smith & Wesson, would you say no? As opposed to a AR-47 or whatever you call those guns. You can tell I'm English. If it's not a musket, then like, is it even a real gun? If your gun takes less than 60 seconds to reload properly, then I don't want to know about it. Thank you very much. I've seen Richard Sharp. Oh, he's able to reload a musket within like 30 seconds. He doesn't reload it properly, does he? He just kind of spits the powder in and then bats the butt on the floor. So I don't know where my man was going there. I just like muskets, okay? Leave me alone. I'm a grown man. I've got hobbies outside of Warhammer, if that can be possible. Oh, wait, Seraphims, where are you? Are you dead? You are all dead. Or you're not relevant at the moment. Yeah, that's what you get for me being distracted. And those sisters are on a bit of a defensive push. Or pull back, even. Deleting things inside their own base just to free up some extra money. Here comes the Celestian squad. Good economy is 109 and 30. But it's 79 and 20. This is desperate, but Nameless does have. If the Dark Eldar forget about this. Are the witches going to go for it? Oh, boo. They are. Fair enough. Got some corrosive acid to... Oh, the Seraphims are still alive. That's good. Laying of hands upon the sisters. They're not going to move away from that acid. They're going to stick right on top of it. And also some heavy bolters on the Battle Sisters as well. Going for as many as they can. Inferno pistols from the veteran superiors, which has been brought down to low numbers. One model left. Can they take it down? That would be a massive boon for them if they could. There we go. Cleaning out those streets. They've got more, which is where they came from, but Scourge is also going to go down as well. Oh, blimey. That's the one problem with the Dark Eldar. They are very paper thin. Every one of their units is basically a glass cannon. So against stalwart defense, they do rather struggle. But they don't need to win this. Or this engagement even. They've got the sisters down to a minuscule amount of economy. Just need to come in. Do a little slash here and there. A little poke and prod. Tech up themselves. Get into the late stage of the game. Tier 2 for the Dark Eldar isn't amazing. But Tier 3, when it gets their Warp Beasts and all that stuff out, it's pretty decent for them. Archon is in the middle. Quite low on health, is survived by his incubi friend there. We'll take a little morsel of him to regenerate in the Monkless laboratories, I imagine. The Seraphins showing the Scourges the business. And you know what? It was against all odds. The sisters had no right to survive that, but by golly gosh did they. I've got a Holy Reliquary. Imagine a Confessor would be a mighty fine addition. Able to smite, which does so much damage to lightly armoured infantry. We've seen it before. I think the last time we saw a major event like that happen was... I can't remember the names, but it was Sisters versus Necrons. And just like half a Necron army just got wiped out by one smite from a Confessor. Grenades been thrown which way and every way. Fighting under a Tower Loathing though, quite brave. Which is moving a little bit forward, but will fall back just to stay alive. They are on fire at the moment, which can't be doing them any favours. And we've got one Celestian squad, two Battle Sisters. Each Battle Sisters has got... Well, one's got triple heavy bolts, so maybe actually putting this squad just behind these ladies, just to keep those guns rattling on. And a little bit of harmless banter between the boys. Beautiful thing. I do like seeing people enjoy the game. It's nice when people aren't angry. Both players have been playing a remarkable game so far. Very impressed with the standard play of everyone. Manufacturing to be replaced. Also rebuilding their economy. Again, they could potentially have pushed a little bit more. But no, they just need to rebuild again. So, second time. And there we are. If you just pray to the God Emperor, use your faith. That's what you want. So, Test Maledictum holds these sisters in place. Also got the homunculus in there as well. Huge explosion in the middle of them. Causing issues abound. Celestians trying to scare away those scourges. Not a bad idea. The Angelic Visage increasing their overall damage output. Phosphor grenades in the middle of the witches. The Seraphins on the right hand side are being smited. Here comes another Rhino, because it's really all that Nameless can afford at the moment. And a torch ramp. Oh, he used that ability. We don't see it very often, but the homunculus, the ability where he's able to explode all the corpses around him. That's pretty exciting. I mean, no one died because of it, but it was there. We witnessed it. We're seeing a lightning jet fighter. Don't think that'll do you any favours at the moment, but at this point, throw what you can at the wall and see what sticks. And they're going to fall back a bit. Maybe these guys will tire themselves out on the manufacturer. We'll give them a bit more time to get something from the Sororitas Convent, but just don't have the pennies for it, I'm afraid. But maybe it'd be an idea to let them push a little bit forward, just to let this listing post open fire a bit. But not quite. One squad wipe there. Very unfortunate. Also, Homunculus has got now 4 incubi. Also, a little cheeky Dark Eldar trick. Building up some slave chambers behind them just to make sure they can't retreat as efficiently as they would like to. Some flanking Celestians. That's just too much damage in the middle. And another Maledictum doobly doodad. When the Archon has so many incubi, his cooldowns for his abilities are very, very short. So there we go. So that was quite a remarkable game, I do have to say. Just the constant attacks from the Dark Eldar, but the really stalwart defences from the Sisters of Battle. If it wasn't for the choice of the phosphor grenades and a couple of regular old Battle Sisters to blow up those warriors from earlier on, it would have been over a lot quicker. So fantastic stuff. And then it was just a case of constantly trying to push the Dark Eldar back, and then having to rebuild your stuff. I mean, if they weren't having to rebuild their stuff, they would have probably been able to gain the momentum and take the fight to Dark Eldar. But no, that was not the case. They were hemmed in by constant attacks, and that was that. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you one game a week, and there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. As with Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.